the hottest areas in AI. Let's do a deep dive to help you understand what skills are and how you can evaluate them to see are they being useful or not. So first, let's take a step back and understand what skills are. We all have used language models, ChatGPT, ask it for help doing things. Now, what we realize is as we do it is sometimes it's useful to give it very specific instructions for a task. And if we give it specific instructions, it'll do better. Now, some of us, you can save those instructions and cut and paste them every time. But what's come around for agents is the idea of a skill where you codify all that information, those specific instructions that are useful. And it's not just text instructions. You can also combine this with Python files, with APIs, connections to MCPs. So that skill is able to do a whole range of behavior, such as go and investigate some type of information or do some data analysis for you or go scan some code and create PRs. This is where skills have become popular. People have lots and lots of skills because every time you teach your agent something new, you want to codify it, you want to save it again. So we really have this rise of skills that everybody's using. Now, as we get these skills, the question might be to ask, well, how useful are they? Like, I've created them, I think they're useful. Let's add some science to it. So this is where SkillsBench actually took a research approach toward skills. They looked at something like 80 skills and evaluated, are they actually improving? And what they found is that there's a portion of skills, and this happens especially if you let the models generate their own skills, which is, come on, it's easy to do, but this is where it's good to go in and add your own, because if the models create their own, they're often a little bit generic, a little bit vague, and what they can actually do is be counterproductive. They can lead to a lot longer latency in tokens. It can be spinning thinking, but not really getting anywhere. And sometimes it can actually steer it down the wrong direction for what you want to go. So it's important that you evaluate the skills. Now, when we think about evaluating, the other thing I want you to take into account is the world is constantly changing. Models are changing. They're getting better and better, as well as there's a lot of different kinds of models out there. So the one skill you have might not work as well for another type of model, or it might be good today, but with the next model release, you might not need it. So this is where it becomes important as you get lots of skills to be able to evaluate and see, are they still useful? Now, in the blog post, I'll go through criteria for how we want to evaluate them. And basically, like, we want just a real concrete test that matters is how we want to think about evaluation for them. Like, can we just get a little test that gives us that signal to do that? Now, if we can do that, what we want to do, starting very simply, is just evaluate how do we do with the skill, how do we do without the skill. Ideally, with the skill, we're getting faster times, better accuracy, like that. But this is where you want to collect data and make sure that when you're adding the skill, you're actually improving that way. Next, I want to go into my blog post that goes into a little bit more detail in this for kind of why we do it. And the blog post goes over some of the same material I've talked about, like why we evaluate, gives us that description for what makes a skill useful, also gives us a hands-on evaluation setup for this. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But before I do that, let's talk about the 3 tasks I chose. I chose a diversity of tasks. This first one is like a software coding one. We also do a financial one and data analysis one. But the biggest thing I wanted to teach you with these examples is that skills aren't always useful. Now, the dependency audit example here, you'll see adding a skill was improvement. You'll see that the performance was much higher when machines used the skill. Also, everything worked a lot faster. You can see the pass rate here went from 0 to 10 to 10 to 10 by using this skill rate. This is across different machines, and I'll show you that graph in a minute. But I give you examples of skills with the financial report extraction where adding the skill helped a little bit, but it wasn't kind of a huge difference like that. It was kind of like, a good model that was strong already kind of knew how to do this task. Now, the third skill, again, this is where I want you to learn from, is sometimes that skill might take you in the wrong way. Models are good at different things. They're working with different types of tools. You might suggest one path, but the model actually might do something better another way. So this is why you want to evaluate this. In this case of the sales pivot analysis, it's actually counterproductive to use the skill that we have here. And so this is a kind of an important lesson that I want you to take away, and why it's important as you have lots and lots of skills to be able to evaluate them. Now, to show you how to do this, I have this repo. Now, in this repo, we have all the documentation, all the blog posts. We can see here the performance of how we do so much better when we have the skill. Here in the financial report, it's about the same. While here, having the skill actually made things worse. So if I go to Minimax here, you can see adding the skill ends up taking much longer than without it. Same thing with Claude, where it fails when I gave it the skill, but if I didn't give it the skill, Claude is smart enough to figure out the correct tools that it has like that. Okay, so that's the motivation. Hopefully you're motivated, you think about this. Now, I've set up this repo, and I'm going to spend a few minutes kind of walking through the repo. I have lots more information on the methodology. This video isn't going to do enough. How to add a new task as well. The way I set this up is I have this folder called tasks here, and inside here I have the tasks with what is the input, what is the output, what is the skills that's supposed to be used. So hopefully this is kind of a straightforward way that you can add your own tasks in there. Now, I set this up, I work at OpenHands, we have coding agents, we have an easy place to kind of run these types of tests like that. So I added in here, if you want to use us, it's open source. You can download it on your local machine, do it with your own keys like that. You can use our cloud as well. So I've given you instructions for that. Or just take this methodology, apply it yourself, like spend a little bit more on tokens and code this all out yourself. If you use OpenHands, you'll see that running this in the UI here, it'll walk through all the different steps if you just give it the instructions for what you want to do. Here you can see some results on some skill evaluations that we ran. Now the results here are the high level results. How many times it passes, what is the run times. Now, sometimes you know that the way LLMs work is, especially when you're using lots of tools, there's a ton of data that you want to go through and understand. So this is where you can add an observability platform to this repo. So it's open telemetry compatible. So whether you're using Langsmith, Langfuse, in this case, I've set it up with Laminar, which is an open source observability platform. And what this allows me to do is I can look at all my different traces. And then for any of the traces here, I can dive into it. So over here on the right, I can dive into a particular trace. Now, come on, this is ugly. It's not easy to kind of follow this. One of my favorite things is to help kind of convert all the details in this trace is you can use chat with trace, which just passes that trace through an LLM that helps explain it. So now you can see I have a much easier explanation for, hey, this is what happened. We did an initial investment, a tool verification report. And these traces are really important for understanding how your skill's doing. And especially if your skill's not doing that well, or even if it's doing well, you want to know why. So looking at your traces helps give you that detail. So this is kind of one of these things is don't just stay at the high level. Take a look down in your traces exactly what the model is doing, because that's how you find the rough edges. That's where you find out kind of how to improve things as well. All right, hopefully that has been good. Again, there is a repo here that you can use as a starting point. I have the blog post that I will link as well that gives you kind of an overview of all this. So hopefully this has been useful. We're on our way to thinking about not only using skills, but evaluating them. All right, thanks everyone.